Woo! Oh, sorry, that was really loud. My B. I mean, woo! I'm leaving Robinhood. Woohoo! Done with this shit, man. It was the last straw. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Don't know if I could about this one if I wanted to. But yeah. We ran it up though, not gonna lie. 10 grand in a year? A little less than a year. So, but yeah, after what has previously happened, I can say that I did. You can obviously tell I took out all my cash from here. Um, I had like 2,500 cash, which I took out and then recently transferred this remaining of the portfolio. It's not many stocks in here. It's only GameStop and this biopharmaceutical, which I got for free. Um, but I'll be holding GameStop probably for life at this point. And to hedge the amount of money um, that the stock is, I did get a $2 put for 2023, but it's $60. So like just for any manipulation that happens from the other side. Um, so that's why I got that. But yeah, all the rest of these positions will be transferred to my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim account. And the reason why I did do it on yesterday, this past Friday, is because these positions that expire next week or during the time of when my portfolio is being transferred, and I'll have my assets locked up. Like this buy call already have hedged. DraftKings is a debit spread. Spy put already have that hedged. And then the transfer should be complete before the Uber calls that I have, but these are also our earnings play. Um, and Uber's earnings are on, yeah, February 10th. So I would be holding these contracts till the 10th at least. They're worthless right now, but I honestly don't think that Uber's gonna hit 80. I don't know what I was thinking when I got those call options, to be honest, but screw it, whatever. But yeah, but for the long positions, I have a bunch of 2023 options, and that's why I don't care if my my options or whatever are locked up. Um, Going through the transfer of my account because I'm trying to play inflation, to be honest. I don't think they're going out of business. If the Fed's shooting for a 2% whatever inflation rate, of course I'm no financial advisor, but the especially with AMC, this spread is disgusting. Um I have 34 of these contracts. Yeah, 34 of these contracts. My break even price is 12.18 on this. And AMC is at 13.45. So with my break even price of 12.18 and the stock being at 13.45 with this spread is sitting at $1.30 almost in profit, and the option chain is just not showing it because it's so far down, and everything that's been going up, no one knows what anything's worth anymore. So what this essentially is my max cost for this trade being $600. That's my max risk. But then my max profit, the full spread of this is $3. 3 times 34, that's about 10 grand. So max profit of 10 grand off of a $600 investment playing inflation over 2 years. And that's what I like is the fact that I have the time over those 2 years to do it. And super weird is the morning that these options came out with everything going on yesterday, they were Yeah, that was the difference in the spread. That's a $3,000 spread, not a $300 spread. That shouldn't happen. How anyone who market ordered this spread at the time got fucked in the ass. Sorry for my language, but that's exactly what it was. That's 1,000% of what it potentially the max of what it could be. Think about it. That doesn't make sense. So what I'll probably do is once the volatility of AMC just really starts picking up, I'll probably I'll probably put a bid offer in. I mean, an ask offer in to sell these contracts. Maybe at $10 a contract. I mean, it's been up to $35 a contract, and like $1,000 on 34 contract. That's $34,000 on a trade that was supposed to make me max profit of 9, 10 grand. Just because things are so crazy right now. Those would be transferred to the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim because there's just too much sketchy shit, man. That's what it comes down to. It's too much sketchy shit. Like I remember last year, a little later than this time, maybe around this time. I think February or March, Robinhood was going down because of trader volume or whatever, and we just be looking at our positions like, what the hell? And like, I'm I'm not trying to blame Robinhood, but they set themselves up in a position, at least the CEO Vlad did, of where we can potentially put blame on them because they said it was their decision to do this. And because of that, I am going to blame you. Uh, and like, I personally don't keep my money in Webull. Um, I had just been using it for free stocks. Link in the description. I think they're doing like 3 or 4 free stocks right now, and then you can do like a little learning course thing, and then you get their market two level data for a month or something. But link down there to sign up is down in the description. But also, I do not keep any of my actual money in there. My money was in Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, E Trade, and Morgan Stanley. Um, and now I'm switching my money out of my Robinhood into my TD Ameritrade account. And then I'll probably just build more on my E Trade and my Morgan Stanley to kind of balance everything out. Um, but yeah, I feel like Vlad really put themselves in a situation to have a finger pointed at them for everything that's happening. So that's what I'm gonna say. And I think there's Joe Rogan, a new Joe Rogan video that came out like an hour or two ago talking about this. So we go and watch that.
Live in a weird time, man. You paying attention to all the stock market shit with GameStop?
So I heard a little bit about it.
We
What's up with
covered
it?
we covered it a little bit yesterday. My friend Sagar and Jetty from the Rising the Hill, he covered it, and we played some of his shit. What basically is going on is these people who are speculators on Wall Street. You know, they short stocks, meaning they are gambling that a stock is going to lose value, and so then these redditors, these smart dudes on Reddit, are like, you know what? fuck these people. Let's just buy a bunch of this stock and jack that price up. And so they all got together, thousands of them, and they bought a shitload of that stock, and the price went fucking flying, like went way up.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then all the hedge fund people that were gambling on it losing money, they lost billions of dollars, like instantly. And Wall Street started panicking. And so then they realized, these Redditors realized they can do this, so they started doing with other stocks, like movie theater stocks. And so then this app called Robinhood, which is an app, which is, Robinhood is supposed to be steal from the rich, give to the poor.
Which obviously in the past couple days we have seen that has not been true, especially with the whole restricting of buying power. Um, that is something that very much so irked me, was allowing me only to sell my positions but not buy any more at the time or hedge my positions that I had. And on Wednesday, that's when it was, or Thursday when it happened. At the time I had 120 shares of BlackBerry, 100 shares of AMC, 600 shares of Naked Brand, 200 shares of Nokia, and my share of GameStop. And as this was happening, having hundreds of shares, a reason why you might do that is so that you can hedge your positions. Um, it's your insurance. That's what options are supposed to be used for, is insurance. So having the amount of collateral that I had, I was expecting if a stock's going to start dropping, I can hedge my position with these insurance policies, these option contracts. So as stocks are dropping and I have 100 shares, normally I could sell a call option, which means I'm giving the right of someone to buy the shares from me at a higher price and they're paying that premium for it. Or I could buy a put option, which means that I'm buying the right to sell my stocks at a price, pretty much whatever strike price we choose. So if my stock that I own drops below that value, I can then cash out on it. Well, with the whole restriction of the trading, I couldn't get to the option chains. I had over 1,200 shares that I could not properly hedge because a hedge fund didn't know how to fucking hedge, and that's why I'm so fucking pissed. To be honest. To be honest with you. But, yeah. So, that that's the reason why, like, I held most of my stocks during it, but I also know that if they never would have done it, it never would have fucking happened. But let's just say it did happen without them doing it, I would have been able to hedge my positions, make money on the downside, and then still keep my positions on the way up. It, like, I don't even, like, what do you, what do you want?
That's the story of Robinhood. Instead, they are protecting all these hedge fund people by stopping people from doing this. So they're stopping all the sale of these stocks that these Redditors all get excited about. So these people, even if they buy the stock, now they can't sell it. Or now is that what it is? Or they can't buy it? They can't buy it. They can't buy it. They can't buy it anymore. They can sell it, but they can't buy it. So they've essentially tried to do what they can to stop this scam, and everyone is.
So you can sell your stocks, but you can't buy them. The stock market is all supply and demand. If you can't buy anything, there is no demand, there's only supply. When there's only supply, that drives demand down. It drives the prices of that demand down. It's it's all manipulation. It really is. They drove the prices down to help the hedge funds who probably had short positions at the top at the 420, 450 level, probably had a bunch of short positions up there. They stopped, they restricted the trading, dropped the price significantly down to the 115 area, and then at that point, the hedge funds and the market makers have already made all that money back on the downside, you start allowing some trading or the glimmer of hope that there will be trading, and then on the way back up, they're now long on those positions because they know people still probably held. It's it's ridiculous.
Furious at them. So much so that I sent you an article that Google removed over 100,000 one-star reviews from their app store because they were saving this application from having 1 star in the Google app because everyone was so mad at them. But meanwhile, that's a legit criticism. Like here it is.
And it completely is because what they did screwed over a bunch of people. End of the day. And because of that, that's why people gave it 1 stars. It's not like it was a big conspiracy theory to give Robinhood 1 stars on Google. It's like, no, you fucked us all over. End of the day, that's what you did. And we're not here for it. So
Google salvaged Robinhood's 1 star rating by deleting nearly 100,000 negative reviews. Unhappy users have been review bombing the app. So that's what's going on.
it's not review bombing if they're real reviews of people experiences with the company. It's just it's your consumer sentiment. Just like the stock market is supposed to be investor sentiment. And what it has turned into is a fundamental aspect sentiment of companies to be determining the prices of them. The point of investing and for the stock market is for these businesses to reach out to investors that believe in said investments so that they can raise capital for their ventures that they didn't have before. That's the point of a stock market, not for the price of the stock to reflect how well a company is doing. The price of the stock is supposed to reflect the investor sentiment of the company.
Basically has happened in Jamar is that all these people forever have been manipulating the stock market and making a shitload of money doing it. Hedge funds, all these billionaire Wall Street people. Now, regular folks on Reddit are starting to do the exact same thing, and they're making millions of dollars in the apps with stocks, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop these people from doing this because they don't want them to be able to do it. They want Wall Street to
Normal
be able to do
people are
yeah. Normal people are being penalized for figuring out a new way to hack the system that Wall Street has been
Shout out deep fucking value, man.
manipulating forever.
I need to tell my
Is that accurate? What I said, that's an accurate way of describing it?
Basically, that's a very good, simple way to describe it. Yeah, there's more
Yeah.
levels to it. But yes.
Sagar did a much better job of it. You can go to their YouTube page, Crystal Ball and Sagar and Jetty. It's called Rising the Hill. It's my favorite political talk show because there's a person, Sagar's on the right and Crystal's on the left, but they're both honest and objective, and they discuss how fucked up this is and how crazy it is.
It's gone on. So after
It's still going on today?
Yeah. So after yesterday, it went on through the stock.
It will continue, of course, not investment advice, but it will continue to go on until there's severe manipulation of the market, which screws all of us retail investors over, or said retail investors sell their stocks, which they're not going to because we like the stock. So, in that case, the price would theoretically keep going up with the short sellers having to rebuy in at a higher price, which push the stock price over the new shorts that were in. And then they would have to buy at a higher price to sell lower, which would then push the price higher. And you see what I'm saying? Like,
Market, because the shutdown happened, I think people's attention was like, well, if they're going to do that to us, let's take it over the crypto market. And so now the Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so
I will say that I did make a little money on Doge, and it was completely unexpected. Actually, made a lot of money compared to my investment. I bought $100 in at I think it was like one or 0.011 or 0.012. So like right at a penny. I put $100 in, got me like 8,700 Doge coins, and then that same day yesterday it went haywire, and I sold at 7 cents after it hit 8 and it was coming back down to 7. I sold at 7, and I turned 100 into 600 or like 650 like that. Took my profit out, kept my initial investment in, it dropped down to 4 cents, and that's when I took the rest out. But like the only reason I put my money in Doge is because I was bored. I didn't expect what happened to happen. Um, and when it did happen, the reason I took it out is because I was like, "Yo, Doge isn't worth this much." Um, but that could kind of be like what we saw with GameStop. GameStop was at 60, and people were like, "No, it's not worth this much." But people held it, and they created a new demand for it. And because of that, GameStop's now at what, 320 something, almost 330. And Jim Cramer's like, oh, it's still worth $6. It's $6 stock. Well, if it's a $6 stock, buy that fucking $6, Jim. You fucking can't. Why? Because it's $330 stock now. Like, and that's the thing. Dogecoin was a third of a penny 2 days ago. And now it's probably at like 2 cents right now, but it was at 8 cents. And the 12,000 whatever percent. That's insane, man.
minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't
of this.
Elon tweet that too?
So Elon has been adding to this. Like he'll tweet something and it'll make something spike. He like added Bitcoin to his info, I think his bio.
And also that gentleman who's running for governor of California. How do you say his name?
I don't know
again?
if he's actually running for because I
Cash meat.
saw him get asked that. He's like, "Is this real?" And he was like, "Well, technically, recall Gavin Newsom. I don't think he's officially. He's not filed paperwork or anything.
He's having fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's having fun. But he tweeted about it too. He's he's an exec. He was with Google or with Facebook.
Google.
But did he have anything to do with Facebook ever?
Probably.
Find out if he did, because I'm reading Matt Taibbi's book, Hate Inc. Yes.
Earlier at Facebook. Maybe not Google. Maybe it was Facebook then. I'm sorry, instead of Google. Correct.
Okay. But he's basically explaining in one of his tweets recently, pull that up, because he was comparing Robinhood to Facebook. And he's saying that they pretend that you're a customer, but you're not a customer. In fact, you're the client. And they, what you are is you're the product. And they pretend that they're doing you service. But what they're really doing is they're taking all of your data and they're selling it and they're getting rich. And they're not giving you any of that money. And that's the same thing with Robinhood. It's the same sort of scenario. He laid it out in his Twitter. But it's a situation where once this genie's out of the bottle, where these regular people have figured out how to manipulate stock markets, and truth be told, I don't know.
That's the thing. It's not regular people manipulating the stock market. The only reason why this was able to happen is because of the hedge funds positions. You're legal with the position that they took. They're legally obligated to sell 130% of the remaining shares of GameStop to people at a lower price. You promise to sell someone more of something than you can get your hands on. That's the manipulative part. You bet it more than what people are supposed to get against something, which will drive it to the ground. It will drive it to zero. It will make the company go under. Hedge funds make their money off of companies going under. They're betting against our economy.
Jack shit about stock markets. I don't know anything. I literally barely pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
But they've figured out how to manipulate it. And once they figured out how to do this, they can keep doing this. And unless I don't know how they're going to stop it. I have no idea. How are you going to stop Reddit? How are you going to stop these intelligent fucking people with plenty of time
I mean, so
that are organizing?
so can but you'd have to know how to actually do it. Because I was over here like, maybe I should call my brother and tell him he should
Yeah.
get in on this.
But it's like a Ponzi scheme. It's like a pump and dump, right? The idea is like you get in early and then it gets.
It's not a. This isn't a pump and dump or a Ponzi scheme, in my opinion, because of the squeeze that's on it. It's the fundamentals of the market. It's supply and demand. It's not a Ponzi scheme. If people hold the shares and they can't buy them, the price has to go up.
Gets to a certain point, you got to realize, like, okay, it's time to get out. It's time to get out. Like if you buy it $1 and then it gets to $30, and then you're like, shit, this might crash soon. Get out now. I don't know what the number would be. I'm just saying it.
I
Right?
think that's what a lot of people think, but the understanding I have of this GameStop situation is what makes it a little different. Is that short squeeze situation is where there's contracts, which I think it just happened because the market just closed. Because those contracts exist, someone has to buy that contract at the end of the day when the contract comes to. I don't
When
know
is
what
the
you call
market?
So all those 300 contracts that expired on the people who sold 300 calls or like sold the puts. Wait, is it that way? Let me think about this for a sec. How was it? No, so all the people, yeah. Right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do the option chain in my head right now. I'm a little buzzed. All right, well, anyway, there's people whose options that they sold expired in the money and they need to be exercised, which means if their positions were uncovered, they now have to buy the stock at the price that it's at and sell it at a lower price to those other people. Um, that's typically what happens for most stocks on Fridays, the end of the option trades, with like some funds, ETFs, like the SPY. It's every like I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, things like that. Um, but there's also option contract chains for companies for ticker symbols, and they'll be like a month apart, or like you get one a month that you can do. Da 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 da.
Close?
4 o'clock every day.
Oh,
So
4 o'clock
it
East Coast time?
It just closed, yeah, half an hour
Okay.
ago. So that's what this big issue was these contracts you could tell were going to close on the 29th, which is Friday at 4 p.m. And when that happens, whoever holds that contract has to they have to fill the contract. So they have to find the shares of those people that had it.
Oh, so that's
They're
why
trying
these
to drive the
hedge
price
fund
so high,
people
yeah.
are fucked.
So we'll see what happens after the next couple of days, which like after hours trading is not something a retail investor gets to do, and these hedge funds do get to do. And that's what was happening maybe 2 days ago. They were driving the price down because they have the ability to do that. They have abilities that retail investors don't have, and that's really the big argument I feel like is going on right now. It's like they can do shit we can't do.
It's all so weird because the stock market has always been this weird number thing that's based on confidence. Like you can decide buy, sell, where's it going? Where's it going? Sell it, sell.
Sounds
Like,
stressful.
Oh my God. I had a friend of mine that I used to do Taekwondo with that became a stock market guy, and he was just into coke and hookers. And then
That whole sell thing makes you think of Bill Ackman's loser ass and what he did during the pandemic last year. So fund made like $2 billion off that and then bought at the bottom.
he got into the stock market. And I ran into him once. This is when I was doing stand-up. I hadn't seen him forever. He's like not a guy that you would think of being as a market guy. He was a tank. He was like 5'10", 220, big, thick fucking neck, always partying. Just a fucking animal. I think he was on steroids. and I ran into him, and he was just doing coke and drinking.
Yeah.
And telling me he's in the stock market now. I was like, you're a stockbroker? He's like, bro, it's fucking fun, man. I fucking love it, man. We're selling stocks. We're making money. Like, he was an animal. Like, this dude was, I thought of a stock market analyst as being a guy with, like, a pocket protector.
Like Warren Buffett or some shit.
Well, back in the day, like, I thought they had a calculator and a computer, and they really knew a lot about the business, and they were just really calculated about their investments. And then I ran into this. This wild dude that I knew from my fighting days. I'm like, this guy's wild. I'm like, you're a stockbroker? And he was like, dude, that's what we do.
How long has he been in it?
I mean, we're talking about a long time ago. I just ran into him randomly at a comedy club, but he had been doing it for a few years. Catch new episodes of the Joe
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Institutional Wall Street right now got an envelope with photos of themselves at Jeffrey Epstein's birthday. So what Jamie's just pulled up with that, and what Tim was talking about, is this insane situation that's happening. It started out with GameStop on with these intelligent vipers from Reddit decided they were going to figure out, well, what they, here's the thing. Wall Street speculation and these people that have been these hedge fund guys, they've been manipulating the stock market in a very similar way forever.
Yeah.
But these guys on Reddit decided to get together collectively. And what is it called? The subreddit called Wall Street Bets.
Yep.
So Wall Street Bets decided that these hedge funds were shorting GameStop, right? So they decided, we're going to buy GameStop. We're going to fuck their whole system up.
Just to boost GameStop.
Yeah, well,
stock.
just to see if they could, and just it's fun. It's fun. So a bunch of people bought GameStop stock. GameStop stock rose higher than it's ever risen in the entire history of the company.
Hilarious.
I think it was up 11,000%. Is that the case?
The actual percentage, yeah, I don't know.
I might have made that number up. Sounded
yeah.
good though, didn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm
impressive.
looking at it had never been higher than $50, $60, and it shot up to $300 to $400 at some point yesterday,
Which is
Even
crazy.
Today, a little bit,
Which
more
is,
though, yeah.
it's that's a crazy jump for no reason, and it was all because of these guys. So this is where it gets complicated because now regulars do me a favor and go to Sagar, his Instagram page, because he gave me permission to play this today because he just talks about how this is really exposing the actual corruption in the stock market and real market manipulation because they're trying to do something about the fact that these Wall Street guys are getting fucked over and like hedge funds have lost billions of dollars because of this. And so, but the thing is that now that these guys, let's play it. Let's play it real quick.
This was the one you sent me yesterday, right?
No,
Is that a newer one?
Yes, the one from today.
Oh, I didn't know they had a newer one.
Let me. I'll send
This
it.
one, Regulate and Reform.
Perhaps. Let's see.
All right, Sagar, what's on your radar?
Well, I have a confession to make. This is the first story that's excited me in a long time, covering the pandemic and Trump and Stop the Steal and Capitol riots and the Biden presidency. It's been a real bummer. And I have not felt a pep in my step like this in many months, and it is now thanks to a bunch of Redditors going after the people I despise the most in our society, speculators on Wall Street. By now, I'm sure that you're all familiar with the story. Hedge funds and billionaires took out a massive short position on the company called GameStop. A band of Redditors on a subreddit called Wall Street Bets called their bluff, drove the stock up to the tune of thousands of percentile more to force those hedge funds to liquidate billions of dollars in losses while the merry band of Redditors gets rich. It's the ultimate David and Goliath story. Underemployed and unemployed, sitting at home in their pajamas, using the power of the internet and new trading platforms like Robinhood to destroy the kings of American finance. We are never going to go back to the old ways of doing business, and Wall Street knows this. So what's their solution? It's one that we, my friends, must resist absolutely at all costs. Now they know that they do not have a monopoly on manipulating the market. They are going to do everything in their power to go after you and people like me who are not on the side of the billionaire elite. As I laid out yesterday, they are already going into overdrive on CNBC, who started off yesterday by inviting the literal CEO of the NASDAQ on to call for more regulation. Let's take a listen to that again.
One of the things that we're talking about is maybe misinformation and pump and dumps, and it's occurring on social media again. It just, I'm wondering whether it's part of the same problem, the type of regulation that we finally need to consider. And like I said, we should always have a light touch with regulation, but you're seeing the way things can get started. Again, this is different. Maybe it's Reddit, maybe it's not Facebook, but you're seeing the same situation.
He's flustered.
At this point, it's not about an
like
election. It's not about a
Well, he's also
an
pause for a
insurrection,
second. Pause for a second. He's also calling for regulation.
Yes.
They never call for regulation.
Never. He's super
assholes
flustered.
like him. The
Never.
last thing that guy wants,
Yeah.
in terms of like being able to manipulate the market and make as much money as possible, is
Yeah.
fucking regulation.
Yeah.
So
He's
him calling for
for it.
regulation is kind of hilarious. And him saying that they're manipulating it with social media, like this is literally what they do.
Yep.
It's what they do.
Yep.
Keep going.
If you work in a team, you should be using Monday.com. It's a platform to manage any team and any work.
His neck
there are
bothers
interesting
me.
things happening that seem to be spawned to some extent, or at least blown out of proportion by social media again, Adina.
Well, I do think, though, that as we look at these new technologies that are there available to everyone, including investors, I think it's also important for regulators to understand that, you know, manipulation is manipulation, whether it's happening through a new technology medium or it's happening through traditional mail.
She's the tightest skin
I
I've
think
ever
it's just
seen.
a matter of making sure that we understand what the behavior is, what's underpinning the behavior, and working appropriately with the regulators to manage the situation.
She looks like a female version of the blind scientist from Contact with Jodie Foster. Tell me she doesn't. Pull up an image of that guy. He's a
all these
famous
people
actor.
on this clip have issues. He has Richard Ramirez teeth. It's a nightmare.
Contact with Jodie Foster. Go to images. That the guy in the far right. Yeah.
Oh, a little bit.
Come on, give me that picture.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Come on, right there.
Yeah.
Now go back to her.
No, they look pretty fucking similar. Yeah, good call, Doug. Good reference. Almost identical.
It's so crazy.
It's the cheekbones and the mouth.
Are you sure that's not him or her? I don't mean to dead name or misgender. Okay, keep playing it.
Working appropriately with the regulators to manage the situation.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. The guy from CNBC who hates regulation is now calling for more regulation. And the CEO of the head of one of the largest trading exchanges in the world is agreeing with him. Notice, when hedge funds manipulate markets, when they screw over regular people in different companies, when Wall Street requires billions of dollars in bailouts and floats from the Federal Reserve, there isn't any call for more regulation. But a couple of average Joes on the internet make money at the expense of a billionaire hedge fund. Well, that just can't stand. And I'm not exaggerating here, just showing you one clip. The idea across the American elite right now is that what has happened with GameStop is unacceptable. Don't believe me? Check this out. As GameStop and other stocks soared, Arthur Levitt Jr., he decided to weigh in. And if you don't know who that is, it's the former SEC chairman who literally presided over the dot-com bubble and was appointed by Bill Clinton, who perhaps more than any president is responsible for much of the financialization of our economy beginning in his administration. Levitt wrote an op-ed in Bloomberg calling for a full agency investigation into online stock trading platforms, and said that social media is taking advantage of users' behavioral psychology and pushing them into dangerous territory. Okay, maybe. I don't even really disagree with that. But doesn't it just tell you everything? That this is what they want to investigate now? That this is what they want the government to do something about now? Don't underestimate how mainstream this view is. Yesterday, the White House press secretary said Janet Yellen is, quote, monitoring the situation. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out that we needed more regulation. The state securities regulator for the state of Massachusetts said GameStop trading should be halted for 30 days. And the SEC now says they're working with regulators to assess the situation, review the activities, and other participants. Like I said, hey, maybe that's justified. But you people are silent on the crimes of the actually influential people who rig our economy on a daily basis. You want a near-perfect corollary? Billionaire investor Bill Ackman. He went on CNBC in March 2020 to give an emotional interview to say hell is coming and that hotel stocks would go to zero. His interview sparked a panic sell on Wall Street. It is seen in retrospect as one of the precipitating events of that drop. Guess what? At the exact same time, right after that interview, Ackman was buying billions of dollars in the stock as it hit rock bottom.
Jesus.
In fact, he pocketed $2 billion in bets against the market as it was crashing.
Okay, let's pause.
It was a crash.
Billionaire's gonna billionaire, man.
Catch new episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience for